Alright, so I've just been getting stuck into getting the rest of the primer and stuff off this thing. So both rear quarters are done, got the roof done, and I'm gonna have to there's no welds in some of this patchwork. I'm going to reuse this patchwork, but I'm just going to go over and fill in all them little holes. Same with up here, there's no weld from like there to there, so I'm just going to make sure that's fully sealed off. Same with that patch job there and that one there, so I'm going to fix all those up. Over this side is, we have a hole here, one there, and then the one down here. I just made up this little piece here, but I'm going to get that welded in there. It doesn't fully cover over here, which kind of sucks, but I'll just weld in little pieces in there and grind it all up, make it look pretty. So that's the plan of that. The holes on the other side, I'll have to take the wheel off to get into there. So, but I will patch those up too, because obviously it's going to put water in through there and it's just going to rust it back out again. So I might weld up this side real good. Go to the other side, cut a little square out, weld that in. When I'm done, I'll put cavity wax down all this stuff to prevent future rust coming back. There's a decent little hole up here. I'm literally just going to chock that up full of weld, and same thing, I'm just going to put cavity wax up, right up under here, both sides. Other side's fine, it's just this side that's got some stuff in there, and there's one hole down here on that lower sill. So not too bad considering the car is over 40 years old. So I'm going to weld this shit up, and I'm going to weld this up and see how the welding goes. So 3 hours later, I'm absolutely knackered and I have all the rust fixed in the body. So I do kind of feel a bit sorry for the guys that buy rusted out cars and have rust everywhere, and they've got to try and fix it all, because it's literally the most time consuming, just soaks up so many hours. Like in my opinion, if you were to buy, for example, a shell like this for $5,000, for example, had rust everywhere, you'd probably need a bit better off paying $25,000 for one to no rust. That's how bad and time consuming rust repairs are, unless you're doing it yourself. If you're going to take it to a shop, they're going to charge a mozza, and rightfully so, because it is a nightmare of a job. But I'll flip this around. All I've done is pretty much just fixed up the bits that weren't welded in that. Up here is a bit similar. There was gaps down here, so I just did a bit better job. There's still a few little gaps in there, but it's on the inside. And there's actually a mold that covers that whole area, so it's not important. I will be putting bog in there, bog there. There'll be a bit of bog there because that's kind of sunken in a bit, and bog down here because the patch wasn't exactly welded on the body line, so it's actually going to have a little bit of bog hang down here to make that look normal. But I really cannot be stuffed going through and redoing patchwork, because it's a nightmare of a job as it is. So this here was very painful trying to weld up. It's like constantly welding it up and then just going into rust underneath and stuff, and then it's just bubbling out, and it was painful. Over the other side, there was a little hole down here. That's done, that's done. There was one here that I've seen, so I've done all three of those. There's actually one here. That's how down here turned out. Actually turned out pretty good down here. So I got in there the die grinder and everything and made that kind of look semi-normal, how it's meant to look. So, and up in here too, this was really painful to weld as well. A lot of porosity and stuff punching through, but I got it in the end and come out really good. So pretty much all the rust stuff done on this thing, unless more shows up, which hopefully it doesn't. So it's 5:30 today, so it's pretty much into beer time. So I'm gonna have to cut this short, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get in the other shed, mask it up, and get the rest of the paint off on the bottom of the sills, around the doors. I might just sand around the door areas because that's a bit excessive bare metal and inside around the doors. So I'll just bare metal the sills down the bottom of the car, below the doors. Whatever else I haven't really done, that'll probably still take me a few hours. And then I'll have to pull the interior out of the car, like the seats, dash, that sort of thing. So it's probably going to be spending all day tomorrow, I reckon. But hopefully by the end of the day I'll get epoxy on the shell, and then from there I can put all the panels on the car and stuff, and yeah, just keep chugging along and we'll get there. So I just pulled out all the stuff that was from inside the car and the boot. There's a lot of rat poop, mice poop. There's 2 rat nests in here. Possibly even a dead rat down in that corner. But I'm gonna sweep all that out in a second. And the boot. The floors of the car actually look in pretty good shape. So there's a rat nest in here. Right there. And one under the back seat. Big one right there. And this is all the stuff from out of the car. So I got like 2 sets of chrome molds, which is good, so I'll be able to go through and find ones with no dings, hopefully. Seat belts, very old, but I'd use original. Actually, I've got some original seat belts out of MCFRY in the shed because I put harnesses in it, so might use those. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Nice to get some original retractable seat belts for the back seat for this car, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty hard to come by, the original ones. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this thing out and just start preparing it to get the epoxy on. So now we are ready to mask the shed up. So I spent maybe 5 hours getting the body ready to get the epoxy put on. I found a few more small little holes, like there's a little one that popped up here. A couple little rust holes I had to weld up and grind away again. So I just sanded around the door jambs, sanded up the front here. I bare metaled the sills down the bottom, bare metaled these, sanded in there, and I had to bare metal up here as well. There's some surface rust on it, so I'm going to mask the shed up, and there's a few like 3 pinholes down there as well I had to weld up. Yep, so I'm gonna mask the shed up now and get stuff on this, and then from there I can work on a little bit of filler and that sort of thing, and then get it painted. So, and hopefully get a lot done next week for Christmas. Alright, so I ended up having to use the all you need stuff because I ran out of hardener for that epoxy. So I ended up using shit probably down to here. I used a lot. Well, that'll be a good indicator. More than half that tin, and that's 3 coats on the body. the whole cowl panel. I've done all the way down there. Even did under the back here. Right up under there. People tend to miss under here, but I got under there, so. And even painted the parcel shelf as well, because it had service rust, so I brushed it and made it look pretty again. So I'll get stuck back into this. Next week sometime. Sunday now, so I've got a bucket load of buttons to do. So I'm going to do them. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll get stuck back into this again and maybe do some body filler work, that sort of stuff. So the sanding process. I've currently just got a block with this on it, but I'll probably end up using my air sander, which is over there behind the plastic. This is just for guys that want to know how to get cars sort of straight. So for example, we'll just do a couple quick little passes here. Okay, that'll do. So that's 80 grit sandpaper, so. Okay, so just a quick little sand here. And what you're gonna see is stuff like this. These are the low spots. So when you see that you've sanded it and it's gone kind of harsh there and there's spots that haven't sanded, like that for example, they're all low spots. Same with over here. You'll see how it's kind of dug in hard there, and there's a spot here that the sandpaper hasn't really hit. They're the low spots. So how it sort of works is you just keep sanding until they're gone. If the low spots are too low, you're far better off using body filler to fill in the low spot. Otherwise you're just going to end up wasting all you need. So if there's any decent low spots, you just put in body filler. But I'm going to go over the whole body, probably with the other sand if it's quicker. Find all the low spots and fill them up with bog fill. And from there, I'll show you guys where all the body filler ended up going. So I've done all the critical sanding, and all these little spots like this is where I've got to put some body filler. The front cowls are pretty much perfect. Down here where I welded, I just need like a little circle area there. One mistake I made on the ute was just trying to put on more all you need in places. Like when I'd see something like that, I'd just think, oh yeah, one more coat of all you need. But sometimes it ends up being 2, it could be 3. It's just not worth it. So it's actually cheaper and easier. Just put body filler in it. There's a tiny little one here. If you'll paint the car black, you'd be all over the little ones like that. And for some reason there was a heap of bog here on the roof, but that was literally all there was after that sand. So I don't know why there's so much bog there. This whole circle here, I'll need to put body filler around that whole area. A little bit there, little dots here and there. Down here, just need body filler in that section I welded in. A little bit down there. All this area is fine. There's actually a ding down there, the one there, there's one right there, it goes up to there, and then this bit here, yeah, I think that might have been when that was welded. They might have just pulled the panel in there a little bit. So I'll probably even do body filler there too. Not too sure on that one. That one might actually, that one probably won't show. I'll have to put a straight edge on it to actually figure out how bad they are. Over this side, there's got to be a fair bit of body filler here, here. This whole area here, I'm going to have to put the mould on and just make sure it's right when I'm doing that. Right there. And there's a fair few spots everywhere, including down there. In that corner. And this sill panel down the bottom here is actually pretty good. And up here I think there was one there. That's bare metal, that's fine over there. But there's a little one right there. And that's pretty much it. It's actually very straight. But I'm going to do this body fill and stuff tomorrow, because I've got plenty of time, so I'll do the body filling tomorrow, sanding, that sort of thing. Once I get all that done, I'm going to do a final sand, just around the edges, that sort of thing, just because the material builds up rather thick on the edges, so I'm better off sanding it down, off, back to bare metal even for the next coat, just so the edges don't have too much material, because they chip easy when they got too much all you need on the edges. So yep, that's it. So game plan is to do that tomorrow, and then there'll have to be another 2 more coats, all you need, and that'll pretty much finish it off. 2 more coats of that, and then it'll just need a final sand, and then I can get my whatchamacallit, Chemis paint on, which I got in the other room, so, and we'll see how that looks. So doing the bog stage now, putting bog everywhere. A lot on there, but nearly all that's going to get sanded off. The thickest bog on this car is going to be like probably 3 mil here, and that's it, so very thin. I'll get this sanded, and so this is the mess I've created. I realised that this is a very light body filler, so it goes on really thin, so it actually took me all day. In the end, it's ready to get some all you need put over the top. Overall, the main areas that were a pain were the rear quarters, really. They're just a bit, how's it going? Especially this side here, it was sunk in a fair amount here. Took me about 5 goes, maybe even 6 goes, I reckon. Just doing layer, 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 just to get enough filler in that one area. Up there wasn't too bad, but that's where we ended up. There's no filler down the bottom there, and the roof is actually pretty good, so I'm going to get this all you need on, and then I'll just need a final sand, which I'll probably be able to do tomorrow, and then with any luck get the paint on. Late yesterday I put on the all you need, so today it's ready for the final sand. Hopefully everything's nice and straight, but I am painting it pretty much primrose looking colour, so it's pretty bright. I don't think any too much minor sort of stuff's going to stand out. I did notice there was actually one, you can barely see it right there, but it'll be sweet. So I'm going to get sanding and see what we end up with. Okay, I jumped the gun a little bit, so I'm going to have to put more stuff on because it hit bare metal in a few spots, and there's a low spot there that snuck past me, and then there's also a low spot here, but it kind of went down on an angle, and then there's 2 little spots down there. Roof is pretty much done, like it just needs a final sand, like it's fine, nice and straight, but I just want to make sure I get this part here right because it does stand out when it's not. So I'm going to sand that and put some more all you need on, just 2 more coats, and then we can do the final sand and hopefully get the paint on. So finally I've got there to the point where I'm happy enough to put the paint on. It took a lot longer than I expected. My arms are killing me from all the sanding, but it's done. So I pretty much got the roof, Mickey Mouse. This quarter here turned out really good. Other one has, this is the one that I was having problems with. I'm not going to be able to really see in the camera, but it's like bulged up right here, and it's because it's bulged up here, it has like a low spot here, and then it goes down there, so it's like high here. It's a bit of a pain, but I've done the best I sort of could with it. It's going to be good for the paint that's going on anyway. If it was black, it'd need more filler put in it. Everything else is pretty much mint, Mickey Mouse. I didn't sand up this sort of area, but it's going to get covered, so it's not really important. And I've decided I'm going to go with black interior now, so I'm going to paint up here black. So I'm probably going to mask off that top area here, or I could just paint it with the paint and then just give it a sand and put the black on. Either way, I'll figure that out, and that's it. That was a good solid, I don't know, 2-3 days, whatever it's been. Just sanding and sanding and sanding. The blocking and the sanding has got to be the most time consuming but the most critical part of getting a car straight. So it's very painful, it's very slow. It's kind of hard because you need to know what you're doing with the block so you don't square off edges and that sort of thing, which takes a lot of practice. But once you get it right, that's pretty much where the whole straight car thing comes from. It's the block work and how good you are on the block. Block man. So the last 3 days I've been a block man, and yep, very sore hands, very sore hands. The whole arms, everything have been like aching from all the block work, but it's done now. So time to get the paint on. I'll do a little bit of masking, one more wipe down, and then the paint's going on. So, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes on nice and smooth, no issues, no runs, and minimal orange peel. But we'll see how we go. I've even got the matching shirt for the car. Alright, it's all done. And I'm absolutely stoked that the paint went on so well for the first time. I've always had so much bad luck with painting. But this has turned out really good. I did get a few little runs. I think there's one down the bottom of the sill panel, and I've got one in a shitty sort of spot right there, but I'm pretty sure that is it until I get it out in the sun. But overall, turned out really straight. Looking very grandpa spec. This is the first time I've painted a car that not black for like a long time. I'm stoked. I've been wearing the mask, so it's been beating my face up a bit. So this is cool. I think this is probably like the main part I've really wanted to get done.
just so I can get the shell back in the shed, and then I can actually do stuff to it now without having to worry about doing all this and masking stuff up. So stuff like the headlining, all that sort of stuff, I can actually do that sort of stuff now. Install the dash, paint the dash, do all that sort of stuff, and then I can just do the panels when I get time, because it's not a great big rush to get the panels done. It's more getting the body done so you can do all the other stuff. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm probably going to maybe give it a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to go back to working on MCFRY, because I'd like to figure out what's wrong with it. But I'll have another video up sometime next month, just not sure when, but I need to have a little bit of a break every now and then, because this is freaking hard work some days. So hope you enjoy the video and learn any sort of useful sort of tips to help you paint your car, maybe give you some motivation. Motivation's a killer. Don't ask how I stay motivated, because I got no idea. I don't know, I get determined and I want to get it done, and then I just do it, and then it's done. Alright, I'll let you guys go, and thanks for watching.